Okay, recovery is over, spirits are high, it's December, and now it's time to start reviewing some games again.
Unfortunately, I'm not kidding. Samus's voice actress does a pretty terrible job in the delivery department. Just imagine a robot trying to imitate a woman's voice, and you pretty much get Samus's voice, devoid of any sort of emotion or feeling. GLaDOS is better than this. Upon entering, she sees that some soldiers of the Galactic Federation are already there, consisting of Name Not Important, Name Not Important, Name Not Important, and Name Not Important. There's also Anthony Higgs, a war buddy of Samus, and finally Adam Malkovich, before becoming a computer. Yeah, sorry for that spoiler, but if you already played Metroid Fusion, you already know this man is doomed at some point or another. It's like playing Crisis Core after playing Final Fantasy VII. She also sees Adam as some sort of father figure to her, and because of that, I'm guessing she's completely willing to do whatever he orders to do, like, oh, I don't know, not allowing to use her weapons until he authorizes it. You see, in this game, Samus is already equipped with just about every single upgrade she received in Super Metroid, minus the X-ray scope, but she isn't allowed to use them until this guy says it's okay. What the hell? Granted, Metroid games have had their fair share of stupid excuses for taking away Samus's power-ups, but this is just retarded. The justification for this isn't much better either. Adam thinks that Samus traveling while fully powered can cause irreprehensible damage to his crew and the bottle ship, especially with the use of power bombs. Okay, but that's still no reason to deauthorize the use of the speed booster, space jump, grapple beam, various suit, and the gravity suit! Soon after running into Anthony, we see that the Pokemon has evolved into Ridley. Yes, this thing evolved into Ridley. Wow, that is some kick-ass rare candy. So yeah, Ridley's back and Samus... Wait, what is she... Wait, what's she doing? Samus, shoot him! What? Oh my god, are you serious? Samus is suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder now? Why? Okay, for those that don't know, when Samus was a child, her parents were killed by Ridley right in front of her face. It's a horrible thing to happen to a child at such a young age, but the fact of the matter is, Samus has destroyed Ridley a number of times before this, and she was absolutely fine! I mean, if this was her first time encountering Ridley since her parents' death, then yes, this kind of reaction would be perfectly fine and make sense. But this game takes place after Super Metroid! She's already encountered and destroyed Ridley about 6 times! He's nothing she can't handle! For God's sake, Samus, shoot him already! Thanks to Anthony and his plasma cannon, Samus is released from the clutches of Ridley. Unfortunately, Ridley uses Tail Whip, lowering Anthony's defenses and sending him into a fiery pit of death. Soon, Samus comes across Madeline again and explains to Samus that the Galactic Federation, or at least someone in the Galactic Federation, is secretly working on a Metroid breeding program which also comes complete with clone space pirates, a replica of Torian from planet Zebes, and an artificial version of Mother Brain.
What can possibly go wrong?
More Galactic Federation troops arrive and put an end to the madness. The general, at least I'm assuming he's a general, pretty much tells Samus to buzz off because she's an outsider. What a douchebag. Samus is escorted out by a GF troop who turns out to be Anthony, who not only survived his encounter with Ridley, but was also the reason why the emergency brakes were activated, preventing certain doom. So, huzzah! Anthony lives, and after having another inner monologue, the game ends. Wait, that's it? Well, that was anticlimactic. Oh, there's a self-destructing sequence. I was wondering where that went. There's also this section where you need to help Anthony from getting killed by pointing at a grapple point. Something you wouldn't immediately do because Adam hasn't authorized the use of the grapple beam. When you do point at it, Adam suddenly authorizes it and you can proceed to save Anthony. Ugh! Alright. I know you guys are waiting for me to talk about how stupid upgrades are obtained in this game. Like I mentioned earlier, Samus is already equipped with just about every power-up she had at the end of Super Metroid. Missiles, super missiles, power bombs, the grapple beam, the various suit, the gravity suit, all of her beam weapons, the speed booster, the space jump, and the screw attack. Sector 3 is your typical fire-based area, complete with extremely hot temperatures that suck away Samus's health little by little. So naturally, you would expect Adam to authorize the use of the various suit before even stepping into the area, right? Anytime now. You know, your health isn't lowering itself out of boredom, it's because you're taking unnecessary heat damage.
Samus, activate the Varia feature on your suit to protect yourself from heat damage.
What the fuck?
Holy shit. When I first encountered this moment, I did a double face palm complete with a sigh of disappointment. Why Oh, why would Adam take that long to authorize the use of something that vital? In fact, why deactivate the Varia suit in the first place? It helps protect Samus! There's no danger at all with it being available from the start. The same goes for the gravity suit, which doesn't get activated until Samus is nearly sucked into the void of space! What drug are you guys on? If it helps you, why deactivate it? Ugh! The speed booster works like it did in Metroid Fusion and Zero Mission. After running in a straight line long enough, Samus will automatically turn off the juice and become a human train. Hell, she even sounds like a locomotive when the speed booster activates. The only boss that gave me any sort of trouble was the Queen Metroid, not because the Metroid is fused out, but how you're supposed to kill it. After Samus rolls her way into the Queen Metroid's stomach, you need to use a power bomb to finish her off. However, there's absolutely no indication at all saying you can use the power bombs, because you need to be authorized first. Usually when you're authorized to use an upgrade, the game immediately cuts in the menu and lets you know that you can use the item, but no, there's nothing here telling you can use the power bombs at all. I mean, judging from my experiences from Metroid 2, my mind immediately thought of using bombs, but the only reason why I didn't think of using power bombs was because I wasn't told I could use them. Why suddenly not tell me I can use upgrades? What assholes! And the biggest example I can think of is the lack of the iconic item fanfare that plays whenever Samus picks up an upgrade. It just plays this generic sound effect and then you continue on your way. Come on, you could have at least used the item pickup sound from the Prime series. See? I think that would have been much better.
Metroid Prime was released on November 17, 2002 to near universal acclaim, which of course only made me more excited for the game, and it just tore me up inside that I didn't have a GameCube then and there. And it also didn't help that its commercial was just incredibly badass. I seriously thought a movie was in the works after seeing this, but I guess I decided not to jump on the idea. Maybe that's a good thing though. I'll try to write these reviews as fast as I can, but don't expect a review a week with these games. Elliot won't be showing up so much this time either, as he's never beaten a Metroid Prime game, so he really doesn't have much to say about it. While escaping, Samus comes across a resurrected Ridley, now known as Meta Ridley, because adding the word meta to something makes it cool? Ridley manages to escape, and while scanning an elevator, Samus is caught off guard with an explosion, causing her to lose everything but the suit itself. Which really doesn't make much sense compared to what Samus has been through before and which she'll go through in the future, but hey, that's the power of a cutscene. Consistency be damned. Samus escapes the exploding station and follows Meta Ridley to the nearby planet called Talon 4. I don't know why it's called Talon 4, I'm guessing Samus visited the other 3 talents which caused them to explode, because you know Metroid, whatever planet Samus visits, it explodes at some point or another. It's only a matter of time before this planet suffers the same fate. The Y button allows you to shoot missiles when you get them, and the X button allows Samus to morph into her iconic Morph Ball mode, which I'm still not clear on exactly how it works. I mean, when you obtain it, this happens. But what does it mean? Is Samus the glowing stuff in the center? Huh. In terms of suits, after defeating Flagra, you're rewarded with the Varia suit, which at first I thought was the screw attack because the item pickup looks just like it. In fact, the screw attack isn't even in this game, so that stupid echo can't pop up and screw attack! In addition to having your standard visor and scan visor, you can also collect a thermal visor, which can be used to travel in dark areas and also allows you to track heat signatures of many things. I actually really like this visor. When I first equipped it, I felt like a Predator, minus Arnold Schwarzenegger and Carl Weathers. It's a bit gross when you go into detail about it, but come on Samus, you seriously couldn't have sidestepped out of the way when his big ass fell on you? You're lucky the damn thing didn't self-destruct upon death. So after collecting all the 12 artifacts, we can finally reach the impact crater. Within the depths of this place is the source of all Phazon on this planet, Metroid Prime. Wow, is it even accurate to call this thing a Metroid now? I get more of a giant enemy crab feeling from this thing.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
If you scanned enough objects in your adventure, you can see Samus without her helmet, but you never see her take off the suit completely.
Oh.
However, if you manage to collect all the items in the game, you get an extra cutscene after the end credits showing a creepy hand emerging from the remains of Metroid Prime. While Samus is entering the atmosphere of the planet, an electrical storm damages her ship, forcing her to make a crash landing. Though only the rear of the ship appears to have taken any damage, so I'm guessing the ship is made of Nintendium.
So I missed!
Before Samus can do anything, she finds herself taking damage and soon becomes surrounded by the dark creatures, who proceed to dogpile her with Samus only barely escaping. Samus manages to survive, but upon regaining her composure, she finds out that those creatures hijacked all of her shit. Just how the hell could they do whatever. I won't even begin to think how that would work, but anyway, the dark half and their inhabitants, known as the Ing, are slowly but surely taking over the light half. And soon, Planet Aether will be nothing but a dark wasteland filled to the brim with these creatures. By the way, I love how Samus constantly has her gun pointed at Yumas during his exposition speech. Always the careful one she is. As you should be used to at this point, Samus will need to recover her power-ups if she wants to complete her adventure. Though the Ing stole most of Samus' equipment, she still has her Charge Shot, Morph Ball, and Varia suit to start you off. Although the various suit is purely cosmetic in this game, as you won't be running into any heat-based areas throughout your journey. Throughout your adventure, you'll recover missiles, the space jump, morph ball bombs, the grapple beam, the boost and spider ball abilities, power bombs, and very late in the game, the screw attack.
Shut your face!
Later on, you'll also get the light suit, which... wow, are the 4 searchlights in the chest really necessary? Jesus, you can poke an eye out with those kneecaps. Well, with the light suit, you're completely invulnerable to the effects of dark aether, so while the suit looks goofy, it does its job well. Seriously, those kneecaps. First, we have the dark beam, which when charged up sort of acts like an ice beam of some sort and allows Samus to shatter things easily with a missile. Then there's the light beam, which... well, what am I firing here? Concentrated light? Well, whatever it is, dark enemies certainly don't like it, especially when it's charged up. If you're thinking Metroids themselves are a pain, well, no. The dark beam makes short work of them, and even though you run into dark versions later on, they're still pretty easy to beat. Remember when these guys were the demonic spiders of the Metroid series? Yeah, it's a bit of TV tropes lingo there, but goddammit, that sight is awesome. Oh, well, hi there, buddy. What exactly am I looking at? Wait, why can't I lock on it?
My god, it can attack the 4th wall!
The fight with the Alpha Block can also be a severe pain in the ass because for some reason my sidestep dash randomly decides to stop working properly during this fight. Why? What the hell is causing it? Is it a bug? Is my controller wearing out? Well, after 8 years I wouldn't be surprised, but still, what the hell? Come on. Come on. One more. God! What the hell? Get up there! Oh, for the love of God! And God help you if you lose to him. And to top it all off, we have the hunt for the Sky Temple keys. Yeah, remember when we had to look for the Chozo artifacts in order to access the Impact Crater in the last game? Well, the developers must have thought that was the best part of the game and decided to bring that concept back. Only this time, instead of finding artifacts located in hidden sections of the world, you have to travel to different areas of the Dark World and use your Dark Visor to locate these invisible enemies. Then, by shooting it, you can collect the Sky Temple key within. With Aether finally restored, Samus bids Luminoth farewell and blasts off to space once again. But not before removing her suit if you manage to scan enough objects throughout your adventure. Wow, Samus sure packed on a few pounds in her face since, well, the last game.
So without further ado, here's my review of Metroid Prime 3 Corruption for the Nintendo.
John, aren't you forgetting something?
I already finished the Sonic interview sequel. Took me longer than I thought it was going to, but...
No, not that. Isn't there another Metroid game you're forgetting about, man?
Metroid Prime Pinball?
John, just reviewed Metroid Prime Hunters already.
Oh, alright, just give me the damn game.
Just think of it like this. Once you review it, you'll never have to play it again.
I guess you're right.
Unless it's Sonic 06.
Get out of here!
Leaving.
The Galactic Federation sends Samus to investigate and see if this ultimate power really exists, telling her to keep it secret if it does, or destroy it if it's potentially dangerous.
Yeah, nice try, guys. We all know you really want that shit for yourself, and just like your attempts at making Metroids, or copies of Mother Brain, or attempting to capture the X-Parasites, it was probably going to end in an absolute disaster.
Unfortunately, 6 other bounty hunters were also aware of the ultimate power, consisting of Name Not Important, Who Cares, Whatever, Fuck All, Empty Space, and Silux, who is the only person I can immediately recall because everyone seems to like this asshole the most.
Now before I piss off any more Prime Hunter enthusiasts, let's get to the main...
Yeah, technically there's one more title left to look at, a game that was also released for the Nintendo DS, Metroid Prime Pinball. Simply put, it's pinball, with a touch of Metroid. All the pinball tables are locations taken right out of the first Metroid Prime, as well as most of the music. Like my review of Sonic Spinball, there's not much else I can say about it because it's pinball and I'm not really a huge fan of the genre to begin with. I will say I do find something strangely satisfying beating the crap out of Stardust inside a pinball table. In the end, I really only had this game to complete my Metroid collection. I only wish I had the damn case for it. I hate leaving my DS games exposed like this. Samus is contacted by the Galactic Federation to rendezvous in the GFS Olympus to receive a new mission to complete. At this point, I'm just going to assume the bounty hunter part of Samus is merely a self-given title. Seriously, all of her work comes from the Galactic Federation. She might as well just be an employee there. Soon after, Samus meets up with Admiral Dane, where...
It's the SAX! Kill it! Kill it! Kill it!
Andreda, enough.
Bitch.
Admiral Dane informs the group that a virus, likely created by the space pirates, infected the Galactic Federation's Aurora units, organic supercomputers that control the Federation's main network. That's right, the Federation has a whole bunch of mother brains running their military defensive system.
What can possibly go wrong? Oh, I missed! Now you're probably wondering just how the hell did Dark Samus return in the first place? Well, remember back in my Prime 2 review where I didn't feel like showing the 100% ending because I didn't feel like getting all the items? Yeah, it turns out she never died in the first place. Don't you just love that?
The new suit, called the PED suit, allows you to tap into that phase and use it as an incredibly useful weapon. Not only that, but the PED suit now also allows Samus to absorb Phazon to recover health. That's right, what was without a doubt the most hazardous substance in the first two Prime games and the cause of all of our problems is now a healing bath for Samus. Ah, you can almost taste the radiation. Unfortunately, free aim is automatically enabled during boss fights, which bugs me a bit, but nothing I'll lose hair over. Well, whatever hair I have left anyway. Now, over the course of the game, Samus will get all the familiar upgrades back, like the missiles, secret missiles, grapple beam, spider ball, and boost ball, and the screw attack. Screw attack! For the first time ever, Samus can actually use her gunship not only as a means to advance to other areas, but to attack enemies as well. But it's pretty damn limited. Well, first off, your ship has its own ammo count, which you can expand by collecting missile expansions for the ship, but the biggest problem is that you can only summon the ship in very specific areas and outdoor regions. Out of all the times I played this game, I only found one particular use for the gunship, and it's in this area right here. Now that's satisfying, but you can only do that so many times, and it's a shame too because you get so many ship upgrades throughout the course of the game, but in the end it's all rather pointless. Poor gunship, but hey, at least you can get bumper stickers for it. Metroid Prime 3 loves to constantly remind you that you're playing this game on the Nintendo Wii by having you use motion controls to perform rather mundane tasks. Press those key codes, shoot those targets, twist that panel, calibrate that panel, shoot the specific enemy, rip off that panel, again, pump that son bitch up! Just about every single creature in this game can be obliterated with Hyper Mode, and as a result, it removes almost all challenge. Metroids? Pfft, Hyper Beam. Bosses? Pfft, Hyper Beam. Omega Ridley? X-Ray Visor? And then Hyper Beam. Samus herself continues her role as a heroic mime, though there are times where I wish she could at least speak up, like here where she's trying to fend off Dark Samus away from the corrupted Gore. Hey, stop that! Get away from him, come on! But in order to gain access to the Leviathan, we need the input codes located inside this abandoned ship called the Valhalla, which can only be fully explored by having enough energy cells.
Can you see where this is going?
Yeah, the energy cells are this game's equivalent to Prime 1's Chozo artifacts and Prime 2's Sky Temple keys. There are a grand total of 10.
However,
unlike Prime 1 or Prime 2, you don't need all 10 energy cells in order to gain access to the room that has the input codes. You only need 5. And unlike Prime 1 or 2, you collect energy cells as you move along the story. In fact, if you explore just about every room possible before reaching the Valhalla, you should already have about 6 energy cells, more than enough to reach the room.
Thank you! Now that's how you collect plot MacGuffins!
From this point, you only have a limited amount of time to reach the final boss before you die from corruption. Luckily, you're in hyper mode, so you'll blow through everything with no problem. You can even collect health to prolong your stay. Deep inside the core phase awaits Dark Samus, who behaves rather similar to how she did in Prime 2. This time, however, you have hyper mode, so she's not a problem at all. However, it turns out that Dark Samus has something up her sleeve this time, the Valhalla's Aurora unit, which has been corrupted by the Phazon. Figures the final boss of the trilogy will be a wannabe Mother Brain of some sort, but unfortunately this boss is pathetically easy. Again, thanks to hyper mode. Seriously, it's a joke. In no time, Samus destroys the Aurora unit along with Dark Samus for the last time, ending the Metroid Prime series.
Sir, we have confirmed unstable energy spikes in multiple locations on the planet.
The planet's going to explode! Order the fleet to disengage and prepare.
That always brings a certain joy to my heart. So, what next? Oh, you know what? I got a lot of people asking if I can do... Son of a bitch, I thought I turned it off.
Hello, Johnny.
Ted? It's not time for a commentary, is it?
Johnny, isn't there something you need to work on?
I told you before, the second Sonic animation was completed months ago.
Not that. Didn't you say you would do a certain month of if I completed the first Legend of Zelda game fair and square?
But you used an emulator, Ted. That's not legitimate.
Well, you never said I couldn't use an emulator, so suck it up, bitch. I win by technicality.
No, but Ted, those are RPGs. If I won't do a month of Final Fantasy, why the hell would I do a month of Pokemon?
We made a bet, John, and you lost. Now give me my month of Pokemon or...
Son of a bitch. Hello?
You can't escape me, asshole. Now stop being such a pussy and do the
Alright. Jesus Christ. I initially did roll my eyes at the idea of the Galactic Federation. Those numbnuts that manipulated Samus and Metroid Fusion were the collective bunch of jerk-offs and other M. Except Anthony, I mean. But then I paused and I remembered, wait, this is Prime Galactic Federation, and they're okay. They get themselves killed a lot, but they ultimately mean well. I respect Samus a great deal. Adam Malkovich has nothing on Admiral Dane.
Metroid Prime, Federation Force. Samus Aran has sent a distress signal and needs your help. The Galactic Federation Force has sent 4 of their elite to do the job. Captain Azatz gives the opposition the cold shoulder. Chief Blaze scorches the space pirate scum. Major Para delivers a shocking ultimatum. And Sergeant Peters scores some Mountain Dew. The space pirates won't know what hit them when they encounter Metroid Prime, Federation Force. From Hasbro.
Ice Cubes and Mountain Dew sold separately. With the source of Phazon being completely eradicated thanks to Samus' heroic efforts at the end of Metroid Prime 3, the Galactic Federation is taking it upon themselves to beef up their arsenal to take on any future threats. Finally. Instead of developing their own variety of Samus' power armor, they go a little above and beyond and make these ginormous mechs. Someone didn't watch Iron Man, and we all know how that turned out. Still, the suits are more than capable of keeping things in check. They can fire charge shots, missiles, they have a selection of elemental-based weaponry, including fireballs, ice shots, and thunder beams. They can hover off the ground for a couple of seconds. Just think of it as Prime Samus without a space jump, grapple beam, or screw attack. I shot that asshole dead. You know, it's a basic plot. The space pirates are developing an all-powerful weapon. You as the Federation Force have to stop their nefarious plans. You hop through a ton of mission-based obstacles, learning a bit about your current whereabouts, though nothing to really give any of these locations any deep lore and whatnot. And then about 10 to 12 hours later, your team saves the day. In my case, the Johnny Squad. What do you get when you combine 3 assholes that make YouTube videos together? The Johnny Squad. Which makes this image a fan made for me a few months ago all the more relevant. A big thanks to my buddy Ted from Brain Scratch Commentaries and Derek from Game Explain for the local co-op shenanigans. It was, certainly an adventure, for better or worse. Since ammunition is shared between all of you, you gotta consider who's gonna be the missile guy, who's gonna be the element guy, and who's gonna be Mountain Dew bitch. It's a thankless job, but someone's gotta do it, though I'm not a fan of how you have to launch the energy tank from your gun and then collect it to restore health. It's just an unnecessary step that can eat up time in the heat of battle. It's important to consider who fulfills what role. You don't want to find yourself uncoordinated and losing all of your health, because if one guy goes down, the whole team suffers, and they gotta waste time getting your ass back up. Enough time that makes you miss the clear goal by a fucking second. Not exactly what I would call a true Metroid experience, but nevertheless, I was pleasantly surprised in the amount of fun I had with my friends shooting space pirates together, hogging up all the missiles, letting my friends do all the hard work while I sat comfortably in a turret, and being a general dick to one another. A review of a fan project. I thought it'd be something Sonic related first. If I had $1 every time someone asked me to look at Sonic before the sequel, after the sequel, Robo Blast 2, I'd have about $15, which is enough for snacks and coffee at a Wawa, so I'm grateful. Shortly after the release of AM2R, Mr. Gosti was hit with the DMCA takedown notice, and all sites with links hosting the fan game were quickly removed as a result. But that was around 2 days after the game went live, and you know how it goes. What goes on the internet stays on the internet, so a quick Google search will point you in a direction you need to go. It shouldn't be too hard to figure out. I don't blame Nintendo for threatening legal action. They're well within their rights to protect their intellectual property, even if it looks like they have no immediate plans with the Metroid franchise. Frankly though, I'm surprised the cease and desist didn't occur earlier, and this game again was in development for close to 10 fucking years. Maybe they knew and let the project go public and give it some time to circulate and then do the whole legal mumbo jumbo to save face. But I won't delve any deeper into that, conspiracy theories and whatnot. The point is, the game was successfully released and it's on the internet forever, whether Nintendo likes it or not. With your help, Samus travels deeper underground, eradicating the Metroid threat, watching it as it continuously evolves to more aggressive levels. Through sheer will and determination, it's only a matter of time before the word Metroid is wiped from the space dictionary, except no it doesn't, no it doesn't, and no it doesn't. For the rest of the game, I mean, damn. Let's just give Samus all of her utility from Super Metroid, Metroid Fusion, and Zero Mission, and add that to Metroid 2. If you played those, specifically Metroid Zero Mission, you'll be right at home here. I certainly was. I had the biggest, goofiest fucking smile on my face when I saw I could do all the things I could do in previous games, that I was able to jump right into this son of a bitch with no problems. The control is spot on, platforming feels super tight, I can wall jump to my heart's content, aim in all 8 directions, bomb jump to get to high ground earlier than probably intended. It's good to be back. And as you can see here,
The remake has a map feature, a delicious, succulent map feature, so you don't have to worry about getting lost. It also lets you know when there's a hidden goodie somewhere close by, like in Fusion and Zero Mission, so hunt away. You got all the tools you need to travel where you need to go. If you can survive, that is, because I think out of all the changes AM2 are implemented, the difficulty I would say had the biggest makeover. To be clear, I played this game on the normal setting. I don't know how easy or easy mode is, or how much harder hard mode is, but if normal mode is any indicator, I think I may be playing the hardest Metroid title in existence. This game gives you all the Zero Mission benefits, but it's also going to put those new skills to the test. And Metroids are just part of the equation now. This remake also sports some brand new bosses. I mean, thank God. A major complaint I had with the original was that you only fought Metroids as some sort of boss, and I'm glad this game addresses that, but fuck, they kicked my ass too! Some of them I sort of raised an eyebrow at, like the Torizo statue. I'm happy for the Super Metroid callback, but then the thing grows wings and starts attacking me like a fucking Gradius boss, and I'm like, alright, let's simmer down there a bit. That's a bit much. If Nintendo miraculously someday did a 180, hired this guy for their company and put this game on the Virtual Console or eShop, I'd buy it 5 fucking times and then some and tell everybody to go buy it. This is one of the best Metroids I've experienced since Zero Mission in 2004, and I like to believe it's not because I'm starving for a new game that I'll just take what I can get. Fan project or not, this easily fits in my top 5 Metroid titles. But I'll need more time to see where it truly places. But if you're a Metroid connoisseur, for the love of God, play this already. You're missing out if you haven't placed this in your hard drive. Now, I'm feeling this is a little redundant seeing as I covered a Metroid 2 remake last year, but in case you're just jumping in, first off, welcome aboard. But the setup of Metroid Samus Returns is as such. After dealing with the Metroid threat on planet Zebes led by the Space Pirates and their leader of operations, Mother Brain, Samus is contracted by the Galactic Federation to wipe out the Metroids in their home planet SR-388, since they see the Metroids as a potential threat to the entire galaxy and because they lost contact with some Federation troops they sent previously. Yeah, they're long dead. Enemies, compared to the original or otherwise, are much more aggressive in Samus Returns, and they're not only more aggressive, they hit like fucking trucks. You thought the beginning of Metroid Fusion was dead? Fuck no, I've never seen such territorial life forms. Now, if I saw someone looking like Samus heading towards me with a gun for an arm, I'd probably be shitting my pants too, but for the player, this means you gotta practice extreme caution when roaming down hallways or climbing up vertical shafts, because in no time enemies will shred your ass a new one. But I'm not a fan on how this mode is locked behind the new amiibos that were released alongside the game. Yeah, I was planning on getting these anyway, and I can't stop poking the baby Metroid. Give me Hyper Beam! The melee counter doesn't cost anything though, and doesn't take too long to master, and if you can manage to use it against the Metroids, regardless of its evolution, Alpha, Gamma, Zeta, or Omega, that cuts a lot of work down. The Omega Metroids are still damage sponges that can take a little too long to kill, and there's a couple of Gamma Metroids that like to enter different rooms before you get the kill, and it's fucking annoying. I just want to get a move on, and shit like this is just padding. The lightning armor gives you added defense. If you take damage while using it, it consumes your Aeon gauge instead of your health, and is also needed to bypass poisonous hazards, because don't even fucking try to tank the damage, it won't work, trust me. Now I appreciate the added defense, so I try to use this when I can. I wouldn't expect anything less from longtime series composer Kenji Yamamoto. Every time I picked up a new upgrade or item expansion and I was greeted by the Metroid Prime tunes, I smiled. It's a very small thing, but it does it for me. It's got some rough spots to be sure, but Samus Returns is a good return to form. Samus is back, man, and it feels great to say that again. I hope this game sells well, and I'm hoping Metroid Prime 4 is fantastic. No matter the case, though, I guess that's the next time I'll see you guys when I go back to Metroid Prime 4 for the Switch. Here's hoping it comes out next year and nothing gets delayed and all that.